Okay, so in this video, we're going to talk about one of my absolute favorite subjects, and that's consciousness. Consciousness has been, I used to write poems about consciousness. It's so fascinating, and it's a subject that scientists have a hard time wrapping their heads around because it is everywhere, and in my experience, I believe it to be God itself. Consciousness is omnipresent. It is absolutely everywhere. It's everywhere. Plants have consciousness. Ants have consciousness. Where is it? It is divine. It is energy. It is thought. It is absolutely brilliant. It's wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. And so if I can do a whole video on that, just consciousness alone. But right now I just want to get into consciousness and meditation, because this is how we expand our consciousness. Meditation is a tool to expand our own consciousness. And when we expand our consciousness, we are tapping into a much larger consciousness. And this is universal. There's Christ consciousness, there's God consciousness, there's all different types. And I'm going to be teaching from experience here. So if I use words or descriptions of things like, no, that's not what I learned, or just for the sake of this conversation, I am speaking through experience. And I have become a master of meditation. It's something that through Kundalini Reiki, it's something you have to be able to focus in order to manipulate energy. But anyway, so I've spent years really practicing, and it's something that just it's like an onion. It's an onion. So the more we peel away, the higher our consciousness raises, and the more we expand, and the more our vibration raises, and this gives us ultimate control of our lives. And it's so one thing that I want to clear up right now is that I'm someone that did battle with anxiety for many years, and it just so happens that those were it's funny in hindsight. Now I'm like, oh my gosh, those were the years I was using alcohol to quiet my mind rather than meditation. Because, when someone has an over analytical mind, which I think most of us do, the more I speak with people, the more I realize that a lot of people have constant chatter, and they pick things apart, and they dissect and dissect and dissect till it just makes us crazy, right? So that's why a lot of us turn to some sort of form of escapism to quiet that. And that's where meditation can become a really great tool if we just have patience and compassion for ourselves. So back to what I believe is there's like a misunderstanding here with meditation, is that meditation is to relax. But it's that how I see it is you have to relax in order to meditate. Relaxation is it's a prerequisite. You have to be able to relax first. So when we look at, I won't get too deep into this, but just for conversation's sake, when we look at our brainwaves, there's beta, there's delta, there's alpha, there's theta, there's all these different types of waves. Normally we're operating in beta. And that's where if you look at like a heart monitor, it's kind of like, because that's beta. And so that's, and there's nothing wrong with that. We need beta. We need to be in that state, in order to get our things done and do our day-to-day things. And when we're sleeping, that's when I think it's theta. I don't have the chart in front of me, but actually let me pause this real quick. Okay, I just happen to have some books here to recommend towards the end of the video, and I'm like, well, we might as well just show. Okay, so here, this is our analytical mind, right? Beta. But down here is where we want to go this is how we tap into our subconscious mind. So right in this range, theta. So anyway, definitely read this book. It's amazing. I haven't read it cover to cover. I use it for a reference book. It's wonderful, by Dr. Joe Dispenza, Becoming Supernatural. Anyway, so here's where people get tripped up. is they think since they're in beta, they're like, oh, I can't meditate. I can't meditate because they're so. So what I try to do, because we're all like this. We all have things to do. We all have adulting, you know. So what I try to think of when I sit down to meditate is, of course, you know, we want to look at it as a session. Like when you go into yoga, you're not like going in like, you know, it's like you calm down. You're walking into a calm space. Or when you walk in to get your back massaged, one of the first things you try to do is relax first. Relax. You're going to chill here for like, you know, 90 minutes, you know. I'm not saying meditation is always going to take that long. I'm just saying carve out your little bubble, your window of time, so that you can begin to breathe. Because with breath work is how we start to slow the brain waves consciously. Slow it down. Pretend you're taking a nap, but not really. Slow it down. So what I envision is a train going. You know, that's our beta, a train. But it takes time to slow down the momentum. So that's what we do through breathing. Breathe, calm yourself, make sure your phone's off, make sure no one's going to be at the door anytime soon. You know, if you're expecting a package, put a sign out saying, you know, meditation in session or whatever. You know, make sure there's no possible way for a disturbance. Nothing. No disturbance. So plan it out. Plan a time for meditation. Make sure there's even you know any potential, you know, for something that's not the time to meditate. If you're expecting someone to come home or a phone call, that it's not a time to do it. So I like to meditate about 2 hours before bed, because I know I'm not sleepy yet, but it's time to start winding down. You know, a lot of people like to meditate when they first wake up. I don't, because I'm not the type to wake up and just stay up. I'm the type that wakes up and I'm like, I can go back to sleep. So that's just how I am. So if I lay down to meditate, you know, I could potentially fall asleep or sit up to meditate. Either way, I prefer laying down, and I'll get to that in a moment. But anyway, we want to think of this train. You know, you going about your day, you know, moving, thinking, lots of stuff from work and family and whatever. That needs to slow the momentum down, slow it down, and then have some compassion for yourself and stop judging your thoughts and, you know, get into, you know, when you would normally sit down and watch Netflix, sit down and meditate. So slow that down, slow your roll, and then start to breathe. So this is where you can start to adopt some sort of ritual. So here's mistake number 2 that people make. I wouldn't say it's a mistake. I would say it's more of a mainstream way of meditation, or a mainstream way of seeing what meditation is you know, sitting in lotus position, Indian style, and you know sitting up and meditating. Some of my most profound breakthroughs with meditation hasn't been in that position at all, or not at all. Some of my most amazing meditations have been through, and I'll go through this right now. What I do is I lay down a yoga mat. I grab a blanket, a thin blanket, because your temperature, if you go through, you know, maybe 15 minutes or more of meditation, your temperature will start to drop, your body temperature. So have a blanket. Make sure you're not hungry, make sure you're not thirsty, make sure you don't have to go pee, any kind of distraction, you know, so this is where you have to plan ahead to carve that meditation window out for yourself. So I lay down a yoga mat, I grab a small pillow or something to keep me comfortable so I can fully relax. You know, you want to be completely limp, like, ooh, dead. And then I also grab some of these, because I don't even want light to distract me, you know, like a bird flying by in the window. I'm like, what's that? You know, we all do it. Squirrel, you know. So one of these. Or, I mean, God, when I was first meditating years ago, I would even grab like a sock. Like, I didn't care, just like something, you know, so no distractions as much as possible. If you've got like something in the background, like an air conditioner or, you know, something that has some sort of white noise, that's fine. That's fine. So all electronics off, no distractions, no, not expecting companies, phone on airplane mode or do not disturb. And then, so we got yoga mat, we got the blindfold, we got a light blanket, a little pillow. And then my favorite, this is my favorite. This is where I get my audio. This is Bluetooth. This is where it's like, you know how they have those sensory deprivation tanks? You basically want to recreate that at home. You know, I mean, I'm talking full meditation. This is a thing. We're making a thing out of it, and it's an appointment with myself, right? And then sometimes I even double this as my blindfold. Anyway, so that's where you get your sound, because sound is wonderful when tapping into your subconscious mind. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. You know, some people, you know, just breathe and they get discouraged because there's going to be sounds and stuff. So try with guided first or with sounds. I love guided meditations. Lillian Eden is wonderful. There's several, and I wish I could remember them right now. There's Jason Stevenson or something like that. They're all on YouTube. You don't have to have Headspace or Clear or whatever it's called, Calm. You know, those are great. I mean, I don't have them personally because YouTube has never steered me wrong. It's free, you know, and these people are really good at what they're doing. So, well, of course, you want to make sure I don't want to go too far, but into ads and all that. But those can also be distractions. So I have a subscription so that I don't have to, you know, have the ads. But most meditations, these people that are creating them, they're creating them with that in mind. So they don't usually have advertisements or anything. But yeah, just really make it an appointment with yourself, you know, and of course, make sure too that you're feeling it, you know, like I don't feel it every day. And some people say every day you got to meditate every day. No, I'll get into that a little bit later because there's what I call express meditations. And then there's teeny meditations, which is just called being present. So yeah, number one, is, or what I just went over is how we can meditate. And so when you lay down on your yoga mat, you know, it's like, picture yourself going into a capsule, you know, or a vessel. I'm going to go on this, my yoga mission, or my meditation mission. And if you have taken yoga, it's that savasana type of energy. You're laying there, you're calm, you're tranquil. There's not a care in the world. And that's why I like guided meditations, is because they'll paint that picture for you. And you're sitting by the ocean, and you're, you know, and you can really start to feel like you're there, you know, and that's where we want to be. For me, that could take me 10 minutes to go from beta to this more theta type of frequency, right? This is about our brain frequency, our brain waves. And so that takes some time. So have some compassion for yourself. Have patience with yourself. And it's a practice. Remember that it's a practice, you know? So when we look at, I love using an onion on this journey because it's so true. You know, trains and onions, you know, like, so the first layer is, you know, layers of beta, you know, just peel away. And that takes time. Everyone's mind is different. Everyone's day is different. Everyone's experiences are different. Everyone's body chemistry is different. So just allow that onion. And then, you know, you're going to have these thoughts, you know, like, why did I eat that for lunch today? And I wonder what I'm doing tonight. That's totally normal. Totally normal. Just be the noticer of the thoughts. This is stepping you're expanding your consciousness just in doing that. Just it's like having two brains or two minds, kind of like that. Just witness, don't be your thought. Start to witness your thoughts. Step away from it, like a little cloud, or like a little truck going by. Why did I eat that for lunch? And there it goes. Did I leave my clothes in the washer? Let that go. Did I return that email? Yeah, it's fine. It's totally fine. Breathe through it. But then that's where the guided meditation will help you right along with that. That's fine. Just continue on the breathing. Continue on the breathing and expand your awareness. And then just what I do is I just picture myself in space, just like floating. You know? Just duh. Try to get as duh as possible. Just, I'm floating in space. Like, you know, some people, sometimes I picture myself like under a tree or whatever. That's to get in the relaxation mode. But then just nothingness. Just be. Just be. That's it. And see how long you can go. And make it a practice. And each day peel a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more. Try twice in a day if you want to. There's meditations online that are 20 minutes. There's some that are 55 minutes. So there's some that are an hour and a half. You can take it anywhere from just wanting to relax and clear your mind all the way to having an out-of-body experience or exploring the astral plane or meeting your spirit guides or there's meditations for insomnia. There's meditations for transformation. There's meditations for law of attraction. There's all kinds of meditations. Just explore, see what works for you in that day. You know, it's you know, when we very first got that that Netflix subscription, and you're starting to, oh my God, this movie and that show and that's fun, right? Do that with meditations, because there's a little different ones will resonate with different people and what you're going through in your life. You know, there's a meditation on letting go, you know, meditation on expanding your heart, meditations on clearing your chakras. There's so many wonderful, wonderful meditations out there. Just explore. It's so cool. And just carve out that time, you know, and you know, when we think about, I don't have enough time. Well, just try to think about all the time we spend doing things that aren't really good for us, you know, binge watching something or, you know, getting into something that's not really good for us. We can carve out 45 minutes for ourselves. This is for the greater, we always have to look at the greater good. This is an investment into your soul, you know, into your energy, into filling your cup so that you can be the best version of yourself. You know, that's something no one can take away from you. And so that's an investment in yourself that you want to cherish. It's sacred. It really is. Think of it as sacred. This is my sacred time. So nothing get in my way. So that kind of covers, you know, how we can meditate, you know, like you don't have to sit up. The number one thing is be comfortable, you know. The reason some people don't lay down is they're afraid of falling asleep, but just don't be tired before you know, don't be tired. And you know what? If you do fall asleep, that's totally fine. It's totally fine, because guess what's still going on when you're sleeping? Your subconscious. Your subconscious mind's still going. So those different sounds, those healing sounds that come through meditative music are doing wonderful things for your subconscious mind. You know, think of it as, you know, flowering it instead of poisoning it with what you could have been listening to the news or some drama series that wasn't bettering you at all, you know. I'm not saying drama series are terrible. I'm just saying for now, we don't need that. Have a full cup before you watch drama, you know? Okay, so that covers too, like deep meditation. So that's the way I do it for deep meditation. Now I'll get into express meditations. This is what I love, when you just have, like, when you're kind of confused, like let's say you have 2 job offers or you know, you want to buy a car, but you're not sure, or, you know, just these decisions, you know, you're at a crossroads or a choice point. You're like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. And maybe it doesn't have to be that day they make a decision, but in the next few days or something. That's when I love express meditations, because you're tapping into your higher self. Your higher self knows everything. It knows everything. It just think of it as a wizard. It just knows everything. And it knows the potentialities of certain things, like what could happen and all that. So, and this of course takes a lot of practice, but what we want to do, and now I do these sitting up, and I still don't sit Indian style. I don't sit in lotus position. I sit comfortably. I sit to where I'm comfortable. I put my feet on the floor barefoot or with socks on, you know, and then taking in. I do this with or without music now. But we got to think of it this way too. This is a pro tip. I just did a Christina Lopes thing. Sorry. This is, oh gosh, I just lost my 1 second. Got it. So So what we want to do is, this is kind of how meditation works too. The first few times we'll need a GPS. So I think of that as my guided meditation. So we need GPS because there's loops and turns, and how do I get out of my own mind, and how do I get out of my conscious mind and into my subconscious mind and slow down my brain waves and all that. So we'll need guided meditation. We'll need some music, we'll need some help, some assistance, when to breathe, how long, like all that stuff. That's really helpful. But but then, when we use the GPS like 4 or 5 times going somewhere that's kind of complicated, if you've gone there enough times, that's practice, right? And now you just know how to get there by heart. You don't need you don't need that tool to get there anymore. And so that's what I kind of have done through the years with express meditations. Now it's like I set the intention of what I want to do, and then this is where breath work kind of comes in. I personally put a tip of my tongue on the roof of my mouth, and I take 3 big belly breaths. So hold it 3 times, and then go back to normal breathing. And sometimes I might need a little bit more, and because what you're doing is you're slowing it down. And then I go in with an intention. Okay, I'll say, higher self, or, what do I do with this or that, And sometimes you don't get an answer right then. It's okay. Just sit there, and just sit there for like 10 minutes. You'll know with practice when you're in a meditative state, and with practice, you'll know how much time that takes you. And it's going to take you less and less time, because kind of just like the GPS thing, now you know how to get there. You're whipping around, you're spinning corners, and I know exactly how to get there, So I know exactly what I got to do. And so with practice, you peel more of the onion, and it gets easier and easier and easier to slide right into your meditative state. And then you can ask more complicated questions, I have it at a point now where if I lost something, I'll ask my guides, like, hey, I can't find this. And I'll sit down, do an express meditation. Within 3 minutes, I know exactly where it is. Like, oh, it's in the garage in that box that I labeled in a bag, And it's like, oh, shit, because it's a subconscious thing. So that's tapping into your subconscious and all that stuff. And anyway, so that's an express meditation, and there's different ways to do that, but you'll find your own way. That's what's so fun. You'll find your way, and there's different, it's a practice. There's different teachers that teach different things. For me, that's what works for me. I just sit down on my couch or a chair. The most important thing is having your head straight up. Think of yourself as an antenna. Just think of yourself as an antenna, and you're collecting data from up there. Head straight, deep belly breaths. And go back to just connecting with yourself. Random thoughts, let them pass by. Let them pass. They're going to be there. Just the important thing is don't spiral. Don't keep picking it apart. Just try to, okay, there it is. Space. Let's picture myself in space. And then just, if nothing happens, nothing happens. That's successful. That's a successful meditation. It is. That's totally fine. But just each day go maybe a little longer, and just it's a practice. And when we start to get it, when things start to kind of click, it's like, oh, this is fun. This is really fun. This is really, really fun. Because the more we expand our consciousness, the more we're tapped into infinite intelligence. That's the truth of it. That really is. If you want to look into, this is kind of just something fun to study, is Akashic Records. It's basically like the ethereal realm, and it's like all the information, everything that's ever happened or could ever happen, or what, it's like information it's like the internet, but it's just right there. It's super fun to look into. More on the woo-woo side. So yeah, there's another great way to meditate, and then everyone can do this, is walking. Just walk. Just go for a walk. I listen, like a lot of people, feel like, oh, I'm not connected with myself if I listen to music. I'm like, oh, heck no. With music, it allows us to get out of our minds. It just sing along, and I'll do a whole video on this because it's so cool. I'll do this towards the end, but this is how I connect with my guides. This is how I connect with my higher self. This is how I connect with my inner child. This is how I connect with a deeper level of myself. Is I just put my playlist on random. There's like 300 songs on there, and I just let it play whatever it wants to play. And it's like a fun little surprise. And sometimes I catch myself dancing as I'm walking, and it's like, who cares? Because luckily I've done a lot of work with my ego, and I've let that shit go. Just have fun, And in that, when the longer you walk, I find I call them gratitude walks. I'll just walk and look around, and all of a sudden I'll just start crying, like just out of gratitude. And that's only because I've opened my spectrum of emotions up to allow myself to have that capacity to fully take in life, and that's why it's so important to be alone sometimes, and just be alone with your thoughts, and be alone with your experience of, the birds chirping and flying, and watching children play, and watching an old couple walk down the street holding hands. Like, there's wonderful things everywhere, just that's a meditative walk, just soaking it up. And in the meantime, we can receive some very, very amazing bits of information that, like, oh my gosh, kind of like when you're taking a shower and you think of something really amazing. It's the same kind of frequency. And so a shower is also a meditation, the way I see it. So there's walking meditations, there's deep meditations, which is the one where you lay down and it can be guided. Those can be 20 minutes all the way to 2 hours long. That depends on how deep you want to go. And then there's the tiny meditations, where that's just being present. A good example of that is when I'm at work bartending, and at the very end of the night, and I've been in beta all night, going and having to prioritize, reprioritize, connect with people, communicate different things. I'm dealing with money, I'm dealing with drinks, I'm dealing with food, I'm dealing with people and their feelings and all kinds of stuff. And so at the very end of the night, when I'm rolling silverware, is when I take a 5-minute break outside, take a few deep breaths, and then this is a tiny meditation where it's just being present. And one of my favorite tools to use to tap into your being present is what I do, and I used to do this as a kid too, is I would look at my hands and be like, because you can't see your face, you can't see your own face, but you can see your hands. And it's like, this is me. This is me. Like you're an avatar. Like, wow. Be in your body. Be in your body. Like, my hands are now reaching for a napkin and unfolding the napkin and folding it and rolling silverware. Look at what I'm doing. And just, wow, I'm grateful for this job. Wow, just be, slow it down. And just, it's a good time to practice gratitude. It's a good time to just be aware of where you are, and wow, I have my health, or, wow, I have this I'm overcoming, or just do a little check-in, and just don't think about the past. Don't think about the future. Just think about what's right in front of you. And that's why I always start with my hands. It's just like, okay, here I am. And that's it. That's a tiny meditation. It's just, you just checked in with yourself. And it's like, we're doing this. My heart's beating. I'm alive. I'm alive for a reason. Just be, and then go about your day. But it's a tiny meditation, but that's just being present and just not allowing past, present, and, the over-analytical thoughts, just slow it down, breathe, and okay, we did it. We made it through another day, and cool. So anyway, so this is just a few tools for meditation. I can talk for hours about it. It's so awesome, but I hope that you got some tips from it. Rewatch if you'd like to. Rewatch all of these videos as often as you'd like to. YouTube is your best friend. So I'm just going to throw that out there. YouTube is your best friend. There's so many wonderful tools. There's solfeggio music. That's all about frequency. Frequencies, like, a wonderful thing to pay attention to when it comes to our subconscious mind. Solfeggio music, binaural beats, wonderful with headphones. That helps us to focus. That helps us to release anxiety, tension, over analytical. It slows down your brainwaves, and it's designed to do that. So there's any kind of problem you have, there's a solution to it. There's a solution for it. Just YouTube sound for anxiety, sound for insomnia, sound for healing, sound for broken heart, sound for I'm lost, sound for I want more money, whatever you could think of. And there's a sound for it. There's sounds for it. There's subliminals for it. There's answers to every problem that we have. Sounds for letting go. Sounds for because what we want to do on this journey is release attachments. So that's for another video. But anyway, I really hope that you got something out of this meditation video. Remember to don't judge yourself, keep practicing, have compassion for yourself. Over analyzing is totally natural, but meditation is how we eventually quiet the mind. It's just about allowing your brain waves to slow down, and then So I think a lot of people are like, oh, it's been 10 minutes, I didn't meditate, it's over. It's like, no, you didn't even give it your brain a chance. Give it a chance. And then if it's not time, it's not time for it. Just when the time presents itself, be like, oh, okay, now's a good time. I'm gonna go. I'll see you guys later. I'm going in my capsule. Leave me alone for like an hour. And have fun. And yeah, I love doing it before bed because it's like the winding down time. I already had dinner, no one's expecting anything of me, and then that way you get a good night's sleep too. You've kind of shut down, you've shut down everything that doesn't really matter for the day, and it doesn't. A lot of the things that we think matter don't matter that much in the grand scheme of things. So anyway, have lots of fun with that. Oh, real quick. This talks a lot about all kinds of stuff. He talks about meditation, but this one's like, a lot of people like this book. I'm still indifferent about it, but this talks a lot about being present. This is great. But one that I love, is The Field. This is really cool. Yeah, The Field. There's so many meditation books, but yeah, for now, just all you need is your headphones and a quiet space. So have fun. And the more we meditate, the more we expand our consciousness. The more we expand our consciousness, the more we have control over what we manifest. So talk about ultimate abundance. Okay. Love you. Bye.